up, everybody? Welcome to the IAG Thursday Thing. This thing we do every Thursday, and we've been pretty good, so I'm kind of proud of us. Yeah, it's been a thing. It's been lots of ups and lots of downs, and trying to figure out how the rest of this race season is gonna go. And as usual, the Subaru news never stops. Joining us this week, and I am very hyped because I feel like it's kind of a treat when he's here now. We got Warranty back. What up, dude? How you doing?
Dewey, I'm doing well. I was traveling all last week. I went to New York City, and man, it is so exhausting. I like cities, but New York is just another planet. I'm pretty sure I almost got pickpocketed in Times Square. Like, it's just crazy. It's anybody who says they hate Chicago, I get it, because I'm starting to feel that way about New York. It is so different from anything I'm used to.
It's just a lot. I've only been there once, like downtown wandering around. And like, I don't know how anybody could live there. Like, there's some people who they just thrive in that environment. I'm not that person.
Yeah, like if you grew up in the farm country or in the suburbs and you go to a place like Chicago or Cleveland or any regular major city, it's a big step.
Yeah,
right? I get it. Maybe you don't like it because it's so different from what you're used to. I like Chicago. I'm used to it. I go to New York and I feel like that. Like, this is not real life. This is another planet.
The thing about Chicago is you can get out of Chicago. I feel like New York, it is a task to escape New York.
Yeah. Oh boy, is it ever?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's update number one. Update number two is my Apex wheel shipped. Finally, I hit a pothole in late April, and here it is, middle of August. But I'm gonna get them, and I'm gonna be so excited to get them back on the car.
Yeah, I'm hyped. I kind of miss seeing pictures of how good that thing looked. I'm also hyped you get all that together, and maybe you can cruise down here and we can go take a cruise with our badass looking cars and do a cute little photo shoot and all of that noise. I think it'll be great. It'll be like we're 18.
Dude, I would love that. I need that. I need more of that in my life.
Go to some weird historic things down here and see a waterfall or something. I don't know. Just random shit. Go find some cool lights. I don't know.
Yes, great idea. You can do anything with a fun car and have a great time.
That's right. Yeah, even mundane, boring stuff is way better when you have the right vehicle.
Sightseeing in a nice car.
Yes. Yeah, why do it in a boring car? Why?
That's right. Life's too short.
Life is too short to drive Camrys. Even though Camrys are great tools for getting back and forth to work, life is too short.
Yep.
I also want to thank producer Jordan. He, again, does the thankless job of editing all of this stuff and helping us with the back end. Appreciate the living hell out of him. And Randy, who helps us with all of our thumbnails and a bunch of other stuff and YouTube things and all of that. It's Randy's birthday, so happy birthday, Randy. I'm not exactly sure.
Happy birthday, Randy.
How many trips he's taken around the sun, but it's enough of them. And I'm hyped. Randy's good people, and I hope Randy has a good day. And wish Randy a happy birthday in the comments. We all love Randy.
That's right.
All right. Well, like I said, lots happened. Things went down. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, and we're just going to start at the top. I would say the biggest Subaru news going right now is Scott Speed in Project Midnight, backed by Vermont Sports Car and, I guess to a certain degree, Subaru of America, rebroke the Mount Washington hill climb record by a fairly good margin, just under 17 seconds. So that is not a small amount, and with a final time of 5:11.89, beating Vermont Sports Car driven by Travis Pastrana in Air Slayer, which had the active aero and all of that stuff. They ran it in a 5:28.67. Scott Speed with Project Midnight, that car is quite a bit lighter. It's set up, it's a little simpler, but it's lighter, and it's designed more of the concept of being a time attack car. Yeah, tore up the hill a little bit quicker, and let's be real, it's also Scott speed. I don't know really the condition comparison between the two, but Scott's a hell of a driver, and I don't. Have you ever seen? I'm sure you watched the video of that. That road is sketchy.
I haven't watched the video, but I watched the Air Slayer video, and it's extremely sketchy. I thought Pikes Peak was crazy, and Mount Washington is a whole nother planet.
Oh, it's nuts how sketchy this road is. Now, Pikes Peak, the min speeds are a lot higher, and you are hauling ass. Okay. There's also a bunch of switchbacks and whatever. And I don't want to take anything away from how crazy Pikes Peak is. It's nuts. But this looks like somebody's shitty driveway that just goes forever. And it is really long. The road is really narrow. It makes a bunch of really strange little curves. There's little jumps all over the place. It is not fit for people to drive up like they do. It is nuts. They have Mount Washington hill climb and iRacing. I've messed around with it a few times. I don't think I've ever made it up the road and not died. It is absolutely insane. It would be so hard to learn that road. I think harder than Pikes Peak to learn. I'm not saying that this is harder than Pikes Peak, but it is definitely a its own animal. It's really wild, and like Sarah Pinwolf just said, it's very, very narrow.
Yep.
It is, yeah, and if you screw up, you're in the woods.
Yep.
There's not like any shoulder. You just fall off.
Certainly the weather does crazy things as well. They didn't get much practice or qualifying times because the weather was so bad at the top of the mountain.
Yeah. So that's what you have with these hill climbs, though, is down at the base of the mountain, the weather can be completely different than what's going on up top. It's brutal.
Plus the snow. So well done. You know, I was thinking about this. I was thinking, what has Project Midnight done for me lately? And then they go and post this record like it's no big deal. So they're doing big things, Dewey. I want to say this is probably their biggest accomplishment with the car yet.
I would say it's their biggest accomplishment with Project Midnight. Now I'm going to go out and I'm going to say something. One of the reasons I really like Pikes Peak is because the competition is there. I'd like to see Subaru take Project Midnight and Scott Speed in the full force of what they can do. And I want to see them throw down with some real competition. I feel like everywhere they take that car and do something with, they're like guaranteed to be the fastest vehicle there.
And I didn't say it, but I'm glad that you did.
I feel like they're playing it a little safe. Okay. I love what they're doing. I think it's I think it's awesome to see Subarus do awesome things, but I'd really like to see them. I'm gonna throw this out there. Maybe show up at a Grid Life event, or maybe there's a bunch of other stuff out there. I wanna see this car do more. I want to see their program do more. And we as the community, I think, would all like to see them. Because it would really put it. I think they have the pace to be competitive with just about anything. But we'd have to
agree.
We'd have to see it, and it's not going to be a steamroll. So I don't know what the second fastest car up Mount Washington was, but I can guarantee you it was quite a ways behind. This was not a. This wasn't even close. So.
Yep. I agree.
Yep.
More importantly, Project Midnight is closing in on 3 years since that car was released, and I might win that signed dollar.
I know.
It does not show up at a Grid Life event, and that makes me sad to accept it. But
oh man, that's one I don't want to sign. I have another signed currency bet going on for next weekend. I don't know if it's not Subaru oriented, but I bet Mike Dussault that he would not be able to beat Sasha in that hybrid 350Z Insanity Kells at Lime Rock. And I think Mike, it is a signed $20 bill.
Oh boy.
Yeah, because
Unlimited class cars, they rate it.
They play in a different tax bracket than we do. So like sign dollar is a big deal for us street mod guys, but when you have a completely full carbon monstrosity, then
Yep. When you make a muscle car handle and turn corners, yeah, different tax bracket.
Yeah, completely different tax bracket. So I had to kind of step it up just to play in the room. You know what I mean? When you're in the high rollers room, you gotta throw around a little bit. So
he's voting on himself. You're voting against Mike Dussault in that unbelievable car.
We had a really good time at Watkins, chilling, waiting for the podium ceremony, and him and we were pretty early, so we were sitting on the bench just chilling, having a conversation. And I don't think he's ever been to Lime Rock, like ever. And I don't think he's really taking into account how wide his car actually is in certain spots. He's going to give up time because he's not going to want to destroy his aero. I'm also wondering how that car does over the jump. He's going to be really fast, but this is not so much a high speed track, but a high min speed track.
Okay.
So I don't know.
I like it.
I like it too. I think it's going to be good. And we were a little worried we weren't going to make it. We're still a little worried we're not going to make it. We have some stuff. We're going.
Why?
We got it sorted. We got a lot of sponsorship agreement stuff and things. We definitely want to be there to support Nick and the Subi Mods crew, and they have this. That's honestly one of the biggest reasons we're going is Nick with this whole Subaru Corral thing, the Subi Mods Subaru Corral. We were talking about it last week on the podcast. If you guys haven't listened, definitely check that out. But if you go to Subi Mods, man, I should get this. Somebody do me a favor and find the Subi Mods Corral link and stick it in the chat so I can shout it out. But if you go to the Subi Mods Corral, if you own a Subaru, you can get into the event for free and have a special place to park, and you get like really good access to like us, Die, and all of those guys. And we're really trying to make it a big community thing, and there's already 200 cars signed up.
Oh my God. These are like spectators that are just going to be close by.
Yeah. And so like,
wow.
I feel like we'd be assholes if we didn't show, you know what I mean? So we're going to go there and give the old college try. And, it'd be cool to extend the old win record. You know what I mean?
Excellent. Love it.
We'll see what we do. And, put a stamp on it. I am going to be real though. I'm just going to announce this here. Just so it is aware, we are not going to make Laguna. We got a lot we got to do. Laguna is basically off the table. Okay. Somebody got that link. If you guys do want to check that out, it's race.subimods.com/corral. Or if you just go to race.subimods.com, there'll be a little thing up on top. But definitely check that out if you want to go. And if you are going to Laguna, so if you're on the West Coast and you happen to be out there and you want to get into Grid Life for free and happen to own a Subaru, sign up there and you can get in for free. Which I think is great. I'm sorry I won't make it. I might physically go, but Boogie isn't going to be there. We're not going to be competing. We are going to go to the Grassroots Motorsports Ultimate Track Car Championship, though. That is pretty much locked in. So,
oh yeah, where is that?
That is in Texas at Eagles Canyon Raceway, which I have never been to before, and I am already studying. And I think especially if we get Boogie to stop hopping, which we are really close to getting that gone, we're going to be devastatingly fast there because there is a ton of dig.
Super.
Jeremy Bailey said SCCA Nationals. Yeah, it's essentially SCCA Nationals also. But I'm not there for SCCA Nationals. I'm there for the Ultimate Street or Track Car Championship.
Are they going to give you any headaches because your car is made out of
it doesn't matter.
Designs?
I'm there for Ultimate Track Car Championship. So they can put me in whatever ridiculous ass class they want for SCCA. I'll just be in like triple unlimited. I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter because I'm there for it. They kind of co-run the thing. The SCCA guys basically run the track, and they'll take care of timing and all of that. But like, what I'm actually competing in is the Ultimate Track Car Championship, which is we are there to try to be the fastest 200 treadwear car.
Do you think that the grassroots motorsports people are going to be reasonable, or say like your fire extinguishers?
They're 1,000 per. They know exactly what they're getting into. In fact, the guy who invited us in has been at multiple Grid Life events and has begged us to bring the car. So there's really not rules on that side. They don't really give a shit. And I got to be real. You should see what Jeremy Bailey has ran there and got away with it. So I think we're going to be fine.
Oh yeah, I can hear his voice in my head saying like, "You think SCCA is this big old unit, and it's not. It's just a bunch of people.
And it's just a bunch of dudes, and that's pretty much what it is. Just dudes being dudes."
Being dudes. Yep.
All right. You have a couple of new and interesting things to talk about. One thing I want to chat about though is Subaru's financial arm. What's going on here?
Yeah, so Subaru, Japan and Subaru of America both announced recently that they are starting a auto finance business. Now, larger car companies already have this, where if you get a car loan, you're actually getting it from the car company, such as GM with GMAC back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Subaru always had it through Chase Bank. Well, when you partner with a bank, the bank is making the loan, and they're the ones making the money on the loan. So Subaru is now put up the cash to have a captive motor finance unit. So when they make those loans, they keep those profits or losses if that happens. So overall, I think this is a good thing. It means they're moving up in the world. Subaru is getting bigger, and this is the next step.
No, I think it's huge. They can offer these things in-house without having to like partner up with anybody or anything like that. Like the GMAC financing and stuff like that. Some of that financing was incredibly good. And they do that because it incentivizes people with decent credit to go get incredibly good interest rates and buy new vehicles. And it worked really well, especially here in the States, where we are really not afraid of throwing ourselves into disgusting amounts of debt. So, yeah, I see that working out really well. And I thought I was actually kind of hyped to see that. And I'd be interested to see how much it actually helps Subaru's bottom line.
I hope so, because they they ate a lot of money, just like every company did with those darn tariffs.
Yep.
I think their profits went down 90%.
Yeah,
crazy.
They got their crap kicked out of them for a while. So, you also there were some updates with the BRZ. Let's hear it. This is warranty things.
Yep. So BRZ's got some improvements. This was announced on Subaru Japan's website, which means it's probably going to come to America in the near future. And it boils down to two things. So the new version of EyeSight, which has 3 cameras, they add a third camera in the middle that's extra wide, which helps with pedestrian detection. And then the second thing was an improved shift mechanism. So whatever that means, you'll find out more.
What that is, is it the actual shift arm itself, or is it something in the trans?
Yeah, I don't know, but Japan's news articles don't ever have a lot of detail on this.
No.
So we'll find out.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yep.
I think I'm gonna reorganize our list a little bit. So
let's do it.
The United States has a 25-year rule against importing vehicles that weren't, that basically gray market import stuff that weren't originally passed by the EPA or anything like that. 25 years old and you're good to go. Okay. This makes new and interesting things come to market every year. Well, what's starting to hit here now, and it's very exciting because there is actually a pretty decent amount of these already in Canada, which has a 15-year rule. So they got a big head start, is the early bug-eye STIs.
Cool.
So this this is some exciting stuff that we're just now. Now, it's not that the GC stuff wasn't awesome. Okay. And there is plenty of it. My brother just bought this badass version 3 wagon. You know, they're a riot. The downside to it though is we didn't get any of the turbo stuff here during that era. So there is a lot of weird replacement parts that are hard to get during that era. But when you get to the bug eye, the O2 WRX, 90% of that car, and or the 04 to 07 STI if you need like ABCS solenoids and cam gears and things like that. Like, we have an aftermarket that can support those engines, and enough of just the engines were imported that we have we know how to move around here. Like, we absolutely can support those, and it makes those cars much more interesting. I mean, we've all seen bug eyes for years, but these are legitimate right-hand drive, the good stuff. Now, early JDM bug eyes, I'm not going to lie, left a little bit to be desired. There's a reason you can go to eBay right now and find 6-speed swaps, because they do come with 6 speeds. But if you look for the early JDM bug eye 6-speed swaps, those are the non-DCCD 6-speed transmissions. So it's got a viscous center diff and an open front diff. It does have the short gearing, but it doesn't have the front diff and it doesn't have DCCD. It's got the version 7 STI engine, which is sick. The EJ207's awesome, except, and there's advantages to the 207, especially the version 7 207. The big one that everybody hangs on is it comes factory forged pistons. So understand, if and when you do get one of these cars, it's going to burn a little oil. It's going to be a little noisy during startup, but they're pretty strong. Those bottom ends, you know, they'll hang in there pretty well. I've had a few friends that have ran 500 wheel through those things for years, and they hold up until they don't, you know. And but they also come with this was before the big port heads happened. So these are the smaller ports on the heads. They still have variable valve timing. You know, ABCS still exists, but they are the small port heads, so they don't flow quite as well. It's still a single scroll turbo, which in some ways is actually kind of a good thing. It's wild how much they actually share in common with the 02 to 03 WRX. They're very, very similar. Still drive-by cable throttle bodies, still 16-bit ECUs. But you still get those amazing seats. You have a little bit quicker steering rack, all the stuff that basically an 04 STI had, but with a 207. What I'm a little worried about is you can get a JDM GC, you know, already here. I've seen them, WRXs under 10 in good shape, and STIs are about 15 to 30, okay? Anywhere depending on what year and whatever. I have a feeling these are going to hold their value a little harder. I'm pretty sure these are going to be 30 to 35 to get into one of these. Maybe on the low end in the 20s, but I don't foresee them anytime soon being under $20,000. So the question is it worth it? And what else would you buy if you didn't? And I got to be real, that's a real tough one. I don't.
Man, oh man.
If it was 15, I would be like, this is a great option for you. Okay, like this is solid. It being mid-20s, I think you're probably better off with a U.S. domestic market like 05 to 07 STI if you're looking for that kind of time frame. Okay.
Totally agree.
I think you still are. There's going to be no compatibility issues. You'd end up on a 32-bit ECU, which back in the day was an advantage with the 16-bit ECUs with Carberry's ROM and stuff like that. And now really isn't with the with plug and play ECUs being easy to get a hold of, or they never made a Cobb for a 16-bit ECU. So, well, a 16-bit 207. I did hear about maybe Cobb licensing the access port to Apexi for a while, I think is who it was, but I don't know like where that all went. But either way, I don't know if the value proposition's there or not, but they are sweet. Now, if you were to wait a year or two, or maybe start looking to purchase now and bring in a couple of years, if you can grab yourself a Spec C or maybe an S202, now I think the equation changes a little bit, but it's going to have to be something kind of special. I don't think base JDM Bug-Eye, even if it's really clean, is worth 30 grand. And that's coming from a Bug-Eye guy. If you can build a hell of a Bug-Eye for 30K.
Yep, I agree with that.
Yeah. 207 swaps aren't hard to do. And even with the elevated pricing of like Japanese swaps, if you really wanted a Bug-Eye, I know some people see some sort of value add in right-hand drive. Drive a right-hand drive car around a little bit, and I don't want to take anything away from like the novelty and the fun of it. And it is authentic, and that is cool. But I don't see it as a value add in any way. The cool stuff about it is weighed back to neutral by the negatives of it.
Yep, I agree with that too.
So if you're looking at it purely as just, I want a really nice Bug-Eye, you can build a hell of a Bug-Eye for 30 grand.
Yeah, there's no DCCD either.
Yeah, no, and if your $30,000 Bug-Eye that you built can almost, unless you did it the wrong way, will probably have DCCD. Right. It'll probably, like, you will have gone through this car. Okay, if you're looking at this as a platform to modify, I don't think that's a good investment. Okay. None of this is an investment, but I don't think that's a very logical choice. Now, people are going to buy with their heart. You know what I mean? It's going to come with some of the stuff that, like, I've been trying to dig up for my Bug-Eye, the JDM grill and the sweet STI projector headlights and stuff like that. You might even have the cool RA wing riser. But again, I don't.
Speaking of Bug-Eyes, do you want to announce you got a part for your Bug-Eyes? Is now the right time? You're gonna
much like announcing I want to do on this. I'll show it off a little bit, but everybody's heard me yakking a whole bunch about I really love the Blausch 1.5 XTR, and then they released the 1.5 G2R, which is an updated version of that. So that has kind of become my favorite stock location turbo. And a company named DOS hit me up, which I got to be real, didn't know anything about till they hit me up. But basically, they work with Blausch and make their own version. And it is really pretty. It is the compressor housing is this gorgeous World Rally blue, and the compressor wheel is anodized in this gorgeous gold. It's the most Subaru turbo I've ever seen in my life. So I mean, I wish you guys were in the chat so you could see this thing, but it is really pretty.
The turbo housing almost looks purple.
Yeah, it's like it is World Rally blue. It's World Rally blue with the specs and everything in it. It's really nice. The thing I like about it is it seems to be a 1.5 G2R-esque, maybe even a little bit larger as far as the measurements, but they took their 10 centimeter hot side from Blausch. It's still got Blausch like labeling and stuff on it, and they ported the crap out of it. So it's opened up even more, which is kind of exciting because the big problem with stock location Subaru turbos is the hot side more than anything. So should be a fun match. I'll let you guys know. I don't want to say I'm like promoting this turbo. I don't know the entire situation with it. it's just something that I get to mess around with. So I'm kind of hyped up, and it falls right into that. I want to make the fattest 450 horsepower I can, because this is what I tell everybody else to do with their STIs and stuff. And I truly, deep down in my soul, believe it's the most juice you get for your squeeze out of a Subaru is about 450. And that's where that's going to land me. Hell, I'm going to try to run that on a top mount.
Nice. I love top mounts and running away from people in mountainous roads.
Yep.
So can't wait to see it, man.
I think it's going to be a monster, but I can tell you right now, I have so much tire on this damn car that I'm probably going to need about 450 to make it like really light up. But it should be fun.
Nice.
And I think it's going to match what we're trying to do with the car pretty well. And, it's all a part of that project. So, more goodies for the bug eye. Plus, I don't know if you heard about this earlier, but Cartboy has their tall boys back in stock. So I have a tall boy on the way with their brand new shift linkage piece for the front, their like U-joint piece. Hyped about that too. I'll probably put some social up for that stuff. It's good stuff.
Excellent. And just so you know, Dewey, you're building this bug eye and, you're using it for content and all of that and Tail of the Dragon. I've decided to call it Project Everybody Needs a Bug Eye. I don't know what you're calling it, but that's what I'm calling it. Everybody needs a bug eye.
I had, I was calling it kind of Project Do Everything Bug Eye and then realized that's Deb. So I might just start calling the car Deb.
Cool.
It might just be
something
Deb
from Napoleon Dynamite.
Yes, that's what I was thinking about. Deb from Napoleon Dynamite with her sideways one side ponytail. Yes. So, well, speaking of, we're talking about earlier 2000s cars and stuff coming in, and like we're all kind of excited about cars were simpler and made more sense. There's been a lot of talk lately and kind of a massive push for Gen Z and Gen Alpha kind of pushing towards not only more analog stuff within life, flip phones and retro tech and things of that nature.
That's right.
But then also, they've also been getting more and more interested in that era of cars, late 90s, early 2000s. I think this is interesting. It's basically I'd be interested to see the biggest reasons for this push, but I think some of it is the same reason that like you and I are just it's stupid stuff. Me and my wife will be talking. We'll have some random conversation about whatever, and then I'll start without searching it or anything. I'll start seeing that stuff show up in my feeds. Whatever we were talking about. Like, it is literally Big Brother, okay? We're being watched. AI is scary, and I think there's some of that is pushback against that, and some of it is like, they're just looking for a simpler life. Like, they actually want to disconnect. And I think I wish I could do that. I can't.
Yeah, but we could slow down. Like
we
were talking about this the other day, and what I told you was my dopamine is drained and my attention is just fried. So I can't do it, man. I don't want to do doom scroll anymore. I don't even get on Facebook anymore. Now, do the best I can with YouTube, but that's good. That's going to be next because I just can't. It's just exhausting. I love the internet. You and I are computer guys, and I just don't like the internet anymore. I don't know what it is. So.
I don't, and I love the internet. I miss old internet humor. I miss like all this stuff that we talk about that we miss about the internet, and then we complain like old men yelling at clouds.
Yeah,
is it like it? That version of the internet no longer exists.
it's gone.
It's gone, and it isn't coming back. It sucks, man. But I thought it was really cool to even hear my 17-year-old kid and some of his buddies talk about cars that they were interested in. These are not car guys, okay? But cars that they were interested in. And One of them really wants a 350Z.
Okay, now does he want to have a burble tune and go do donuts in an intersection?
See, he was talking about like slamming it and doing shit you wanted to talk about when you were 18, but yeah, he honestly, they are actually interested in a simpler car that's easier to maintain. That they don't have to turn 100 things off to get rid of traction control and go be an asshole. They sound better, and they're and one big thing that draws them to it is it's a really cool car that isn't freakishly expensive.
I like that too. I just look, Dewey, there's a lot of 350Zs in Chicago, and they're all garbage.
Oh, they are.
Just have unbelievably loud exhausts, and I was
That
thinking about this the other
community's
day.
bad. But it was cool to hear that, and we're talking about getting a single overhead cam Honda, or maybe even we're gonna check. We're gonna see how bad it's gonna hurt our situation with insurance. But the Mini is kind of no more, and it's gonna cost us just as much to fix it as we're having a very hard time wrapping our brains around putting money into that.
What happened to the Mini? What happened?
Head gasket.
Oh, boo.
Yes. So is what it is. Not gonna sit here and cry too much about it. But so we're looking at other options. Single overhead cam Hondas started coming up. Gen 6 Civic SIs started coming up. I want to get them something with a manual. Okay.
Right.
And another thing that started coming up was bug eyes. Like maybe I find them a bug eye wagon, or maybe, and I've actually found them fairly cheap, an 08 or 09 WRX hatch narrow body, because they're really cheap and you kind of get a lot of car for your money.
Okay. But do you think he's going to turn into a car guy, or do you think this is just a phase? He wants his own car.
He wants his own car no matter what. He hated the fact he had a manual until he learned to drive a manual, and now he can't stand not driving a manual.
Look at that. This is how it starts. Wow.
Yeah, this is
nothing and then everything all at once.
Yep. And he's starting to come around, and we're going to help him find something, but he's only going to have about $4 to $5K, budget. I'd like to find him, even if we found like a clean Outback Sport, like late 90s, really early 2000s Outback Sport. That would be sick. I think that'd be a great car for him. Something with a 2.2 would never die. But I don't
put a mattress in the back.
I don't want to get anything that's going to rust. But what I want is something that he can go to AutoZone and buy basic parts for to keep alive. Or if the engine does go, he's out under $1,000.
Yeah. Okay. I like this. I like that he's coming around. Any update on the BRZ, or is that just gone?
It's the car starts and runs fine. I'm working with a buddy of mine down in Florida. It may become a race car.
Okay.
I'm not putting him in the BRZ because it has too much value to me. So it needs to do something. So we're going to figure out what we'll do with Dolly.
Okay. All right. Well,
yeah.
Manual Civic. That's what he needs. Manual Civic.
I got to be real. A single jingle Civic, you're going to have a hard time telling me it's the wrong answer. That or even a 8th gen Civic SI. So it comes with a K series, comes with a 6-speed, and they're really cheap to keep on the road, and it's kind of cool. You can do a lot with it. It's fun to drive. Like, they're a freaking ride to drive. It's something that's been popping up. But he also every once in a while has to drive up to Chicago. His biological father lives up there, and he's got to go up there. He's got family and stuff up there, and he's going to be driving in the snow and stuff. He's going to really appreciate having all-wheel drive. He's driving the Crosstrek right now, but that's like our backup car. I don't want that. He doesn't get to keep the Crosstrek.
Fair. Okay. Yeah.
Or he can buy the Crosstrek off of us, and I'll go get something else as a backup car, like probably a Civic Si.
That's a great idea. Great idea, Dewey. And then build the Bug Eye.
Yeah,
Keep building the Bug Eye.
that or maybe he buys a cross truck off me and I fix. Using that money, I can fix Dolly. I don't know.
Okay.
That might work.
You're the kind, you like to have 2 race cars. You like to have 4 race cars.
Messed with Dolly too much. Like the only thing Dolly needs, my BRZ needs really, once I do the FA24 swap, it's done. Done. Unless I find like fun little JDM parts to put on it, but like done.
Okay. So Gen Alpha, Gen Z, they want an analog life.
Yes.
Analog cars too. Sign me up, please.
I gotta be real. I haven't been a huge fan of these 2 generations. Okay.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, this is what happens, and I'm like, yes, guys, yes.
Yep. I feel the exact same way. I'm so glad. I saw the analog style, a couple of years ago, and I thought, whatever, it's just a phase. And then now I get it. And I want it. So,
dude, every time I hop in my Bug Eye and everything's just simple, I'm like, man, this is great. I went and got lunch today. Ran to Taco Bell, and it was awesome because it's simple.
Yep. Well, speaking of old things that are new again, Fast and Furious 1 is coming back to theaters, Dewey, for the 25th anniversary.
I think it's next week. You should be able to go to your AMC and go watch the first Fast and the Furious movie. And if you
can't wait,
I'm hyped. I hope I can do it because of Lime Rock and everything else. But I got to be real, folks. If you have not partaken in this movie inside of a theater, and I know a lot of people listening to this didn't because you weren't old enough, go do it. That movie is so good for so many reasons that you don't even realize. It's the best comedy ever written for cars. It is. It like so much happened with that movie. It totally rewrote the culture in the United States outside of, maybe California and New York City, who that was already popping off there. But Midwest, middle of nowhere, people were popping wings on their Cavaliers and stuff. Like a lot changed. It went from driving a Honda Civic went from being very uncool to being the coolest thing you could possibly do.
Yeah. It's an elaborate movie about family, and family's very important.
And family. Tuna no crust.
Yeah. I watched Smokey and the Bandit as an adult, and I thought, okay, this is a nice movie. It's fun, but that had a huge cultural impact too. So if you're old, you need to watch this movie, and if you're young, you definitely need to watch this movie.
Massive cultural impact. So much of what it's how people think they need to act around cars came from this movie.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Almost all of your U.S. import-based performance stuff owes a lot to this movie. Okay, a lot to this movie. This movie was massive for that. We would not have gotten a WRX here. Okay, IAG would not exist, at least in the form it does, if not for this movie. I will argue that to the dawn. Absolutely.
We would not have the WRX. That's crazy.
No, we 100% wouldn't have got the WRX, or we wouldn't have got it for at least another few years. We definitely would not have gotten it in 02.
I want to understand why, like, in Subaru of America, what were they thinking? Like, they needed money. That's why they did
that time period. Okay, Japan didn't bring anything over because the U.S. market was very anti-turbo car and honestly just kind of anti-Japanese. Like the kind of person who would go buy a WRX at that time, they didn't think there was the buyer would cross shop a WRX versus a Mustang.
Well, yeah, but let's come back to the WRX. So Japanese cars in general. Yes, this was 25 years ago and I was a small child, but like Americans were buying Camrys forever because they're really good
performance cars,
high quality.
Performance cars. Okay. We need to talk
Man.
specifically performance cars. And then there was the idea that honestly didn't really resonate with a lot of people until the movie. And that is the concept of taking a base model smaller displacement 4-cylinder and modifying it to go beat up on Mustangs and stuff. That was not even there was weirdos who were messing with like DSMs and stuff like that, but it wasn't a normal thing now like it is now. There was no real aftermarket here in the States outside of maybe some small racing brands that messed with it. And you'd have like some SCCA stuff and some guys who were, Miatas and things like that but it wasn't like a cultural thing. Okay. You weren't really cool. It became cool due to that movie.
Yeah, I agree. My recollection is really warped because as a young person, I played a lot of Gran Turismo, and it's all Japanese cars. They have a million versions of every fun performance Japanese car. So, but you can't buy a car when you're 12 and you're playing Gran Turismo.
You also don't have one of the things that hit me, and I'm a little older than you are. So I don't know when you started playing Gran Turismo, but I played 1 and 2, like when they were new.
I started with 3.
So like there was already an import market here, and it was already cool to drive a Japanese vehicle. What pissed me off in the first one that I spent a lot of time with was Gran Turismo 2, okay? Is why are none of the American cars cool in this? Why did they not make them cool? And like it pissed me off to no end. I'm like, they're really heavy and they all handle like shit. And like I didn't understand. And then they're calling this a simulator. I don't understand. And then like it kind of dawned on me at the time, and people can give me all the shit they want when I say this, but 90s and early 2000s American cars were garbage. There's a reason most of those companies filed bankruptcy. There are some small exceptions, okay? Like a C5 Corvette is an exception. But if you hop in a bone stock C5 Corvette, it's kind of wallowy, all right? And it's made for big fat people to go to what we now call cars and coffee, but then we're just Corvette meets.
Yeah.
The Mustang stick axle rear end, the Camaro stick axle rear end, and honestly didn't make great horsepower until really the very late 90s and early 2000s when they put LSs in them. Dodge really didn't have anything worth talking about other than a Viper. And that seemed like this wildly expensive, basically exotic thing that didn't exist. So like, when it had a huge I don't think the American car companies realized the type of impact this had till it was way too late. And then that movie hit, and oh my God, when you saw the hero cars were all these crazy Japanese things, a Supra, an Eclipse, the RX-7,
and
modified all to hell. They look like spaceships under glow neon and bright colors, and it was like nothing you would ever. It was mind blowing, especially when you are a young youth, of 19 years of age, seeing this when you've been reading all these magazines and now you just saw this insane movie. Your mind was effing blown.
It was such a huge impact on the culture. It's hard to believe that it was any other way before it, but you're right, man.
It was different, and it really was different outside of really large cities like the Southern California area, the New York area, Philly, stuff like that. Like they had their pockets of this was all kicking off way before the movie. But in the Midwest, I will fight you. There was some oddballs that maybe came out of Chicago, some Chicago being the kind of the hub. There was some shops that predate the movie that were tinkering around with stuff back in the day, RX-7 shops, things like that. You had some, some rotary stuff. You had some Honda guys, but When that movie hit, and everything changed. Everything changed. Like thousands of shops, not even hundreds, thousands of shops popped up within a year.
Yeah. Wow. And it kind of happened twice with Tokyo Drift. That was a big impact with drifting.
It was a large impact with. So Too Fast, Too Furious, we can all admit, was a bit of a flop, and it was. I don't think had the impact. It definitely didn't have an impact near what the first movie and the third movie did. And I know there's a pile of people out there who talk about how much they love the third movie. And I'm not saying it didn't introduce drifting to a bunch of people or the concept of drifting or whatever. That movie didn't have anywhere near the same impact. Anywhere near the same impact that the first one.
I agree. I liked it a lot. It was my favorite movie, but
yes.
You're totally right.
Not that I'm not trying to I know there are a lot of people out there who will tell you it's their favorite one or whatever, and that's fine. It can be your favorite one. And maybe it affected you personally more than the first one did. But I guarantee you're 10 years younger than me minimum.
That the third movie also had a really horrible ending. They ran out of money. And
yeah, but then the first movie, I gotta be real, was all that was reskin Point Break. Okay, it just was.
Yeah.
Okay, but it worked. It worked really well, and it was, especially the race in the end with the Supra versus the muscle car, and dude, so much of that movie just worked really well, and being able to see all this stuff for real, not just in a magazine, was crazy. It was, oh my God. You got to understand, this is also pre YouTube, okay? Where you can just go look at car videos. This is pre streetfire.net. This is 56K warnings on all your forum posts if there was more than 2 pictures, okay? This was early internet, and then you're seeing this in a movie theater. Dude, it was nuts. It was so crazy.
Yeah. I need to watch Point Break. I haven't seen it. I also want to watch Driven with Ryan Gosling.
I heard that's really good. Movie? I have not. I heard it was pretty good. Again, these are more modern car guy movies, and I'm not trying to take anything away from it, but as far as a cultural impact,
yeah, there could only be one atomic bomb, and that was it.
It was the atomic bomb of car culture in the United States. It had such a massive effect, and I don't I got to be real. All the Japanese companies owe Universal Studios a debt of gratitude for that movie doing what it did, and they've tried to reproduce it in all sorts of different other genres. They tried to do bikes with Biker Boys, and it was awful. Okay.
Yeah.
But it was the problem is it kept coming as the Fast and the Furious of this genre, and it never really worked.
That's right.
I think one of my favorite variations, which actually came way before the Fast and the Furious, but it was kind of the Fast and the Furious of rollerblading, was Airborne in the 90s. You ever want to see a very period correct movie? Go watch Airborne.
Oh,
so good.
I gotta watch it.
So good.
I need to watch Brink again, the Nickelodeon movie about.
Dude, watch Airborne. Airborne will change your life. It's so good. When they race down Devil's Backbone in the end, they go to the wild streets of Cincinnati, Ohio. Dude, it's great. Dude, Airborne is peak. It's stupid good.
Oh boy, that's 3 movies I gotta watch now. Holy cow!
Oh, Airborne's the best. So, yeah, Airborne is one of my favorites. So, wasn't there Redline immediately after Fast and the Furious? Redline.
The movie or Time Attack?
Wrong title. Yep, young Jack Black was in Airborne. Young Seth Green was in Airborne.
Oh, Redline. Is this the one I'm thinking of? Oh, yes. This is This is an anime, but it's from 2007.
Yeah, that was way after. That was they were just racing across the desert, whatever, and then the dude would throw the pill. It was like a nitrous pill, and that's just fun to watch.
There's actually two films. There's a 2007 film which has apparently really low ratings. That's Real Cars, and that has nobody I've ever heard of. With illegal drag racing competitions. That's 2007.
Well, this looks like a bag of
6 years.
Ass, and I gotta be real. You know what this looks like?
What?
I think Need for Speed did it better. Like a couple years later.
Okay.
If you guys, I actually thought that was a pretty well done movie for what it was, and I don't think they had a crazy budget.
The Red Line is also an anime from 2009, 2010. It's like science fiction, and that movie is great.
That movie is a riot to watch. If you got to watch it on a really good TV with a really good sound system. It's good times. I own that right, and it's awesome.
I stumbled upon that when I wanted to watch something like on HBO. What a surprise. So much fun.
So, yeah. So I gotta, if going back to this, we've talked about Fast and Furious on here a few times, but it
sure have.
There's a reason for it. The older you get and the more you learn, it's almost like a bell curve where at first you really love it. And then you learn a little more. It's more like a backwards bell curve. You really love it, and then you learn a little more, and then you actually kind of hate it because you're like, this is so not real. And then you start to love it more as you appreciate what it is and what it did. And then you get to a point where you're madly in love with it because of not only the impact that it had, but like you also you giggle at some of it. Like it's almost, some of it's like tongue in cheek shit, like a Motec system exhaust. Like these are all things that we have, that have turned into like just car guy memes. And it all came from there. It's great.
It's how my favorite movie is Hackers. It's that cheesy, campy movie for computers.
It's so camp, and you love it. And that's all Fast and Furious is in the end is, but it's like the origin of camp for car shit.
Yep. So good.
Yep.
So, yep.
I think that's about it, dude. We got any questions in the chat down?
Highlight of my summer was cruising. Got to do more of that.
Dude, come on, man. You got to come down here and we got to roll. We both got cool cars now, and one's red and one's blue, so it's going to look cool. We're going to have these really cool pictures.
I'd love to, but I can't until this exam is done at the end of October. So.
Yeah, but it'll still be okay down here in the end of October. So get your exam done.
Okay.
And then we'll go do some things in November around here. Probably when the leaves are changing, we can get some really good pictures.
Fantastic. I need that in my life.
Yeah. And we'll just keep driving south until it's warm.
Yep. I like the sound of that. Bring my race car tires, my race car wheels, and find some good roads.
Miles Hinman asks, Dewey, does your family have anything to do with DeWitt, Michigan? No, but I've been there, and I even bought a t-shirt from there. But no. And yes, I am from Michigan, but no. I have no family there that I know of. And most of the DeWitt side of my family came from Oklahoma. And I know none of them either. I hear they're cool people, but yeah.
Occasionally, we'll find a street that's Dewey Street. We'll take a picture and send it to him.
I mean, I've got a street sign that somebody stole from me that we carry around the country in the trailer that we put up every once in a while. Yes. So I thought that was fun. It's like West Dewey Street.
Nice. Fantastic.
I remember watching it because it had, what are we talking about? Both of those. Oh. That's a lot of cops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Born to Race. Yeah, Born to Race was another one that came quite a bit later. But that was There was that movie did pretty well for being kind of a straight to DVD kind of trash movie. And then now we're talking. Born to Race was fun. Wasn't really great. Actually took itself too seriously, and that was the problem with it. And the secret use the Force Luke MacGuffin thing was flatfoot shifting. So it was I don't know, that movie was okay, but it definitely did not have proper Hollywood money behind it. Mary is asking, are you going to SubiFest Midwest or Boxer Fest? Boxer Fest almost for sure. SubiFest Midwest, I'm not sure when that is. Do you know when that is?
No, I don't. Boxer Fest?
October? Ugh, October is looking rough for me right now.
Boxer Fest is September 27th.
Now, Boxer Fest I might go to. What about SubiFest Midwest?
Checking. SubiFest Midwest is October 10th. Ooh.
I don't think I'm going to make that. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to make that. So sorry. I don't see that happening. I'm not going to say 100% no, but we will see. So, yeah. I don't know. That's I think we did a thing, dude. I appreciate you finding time and coming to hang out, and yeah.
Absolutely.
We need to do this more. And yeah, if you guys want to watch us next week on the Grid Life livecast, it's only a Friday, Saturday event, okay? Because Lime Rock has an agreement with the church that is near there. The church did predate the track, so don't be mad at the church.
All right. We like that.
That they do not race there on Sundays, so it's Friday, Saturday. And
look at that. Good for them.
Yep. And we're gonna go tear around there and do our best. Hopefully we have the car 100%, and so you can watch us on there. But if you happen to be in anywhere in the Northeast, and you have a Subaru, definitely check out that Subimods Corral, and come hang out, come see it. Dude, it's so gorgeous there. It's a great time, and there's so much going on at this damn event. Sung Kang's going to be there, speaking of Fast and Furious stuff, promoting that Drifter movie.
Fantastic.
They're doing a bunch of Forza Horizon stuff that's going on. Toyota's like releasing a car there. Like, there's all sorts of crazy shit going on.
That's cool. I hope that movie does well. I hope it's like not just straight to DVD.
Are they actually going to release that in theaters? If they do, I think they're going to get a ton of car people to go watch it in theaters, but I don't think it's going to be enough to make a ton of money, but I don't think the budget's very high either. So they might, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to slay it if it's even remotely decent in streaming.
Yeah. I don't think movies in a theater is really a thing anymore, except from Hollywood. So
you got it. Yeah. If you don't have a massive budget, you're not going to make it in the theater.
Yeah.
Like, I went and saw Spider-Man, I went and saw Odyssey, and I went and saw Supergirl, and like I'm all about that. And like but I love going to the theater, so if I can find something strange to go watch, I will definitely go do it. But that's not everybody. Your home entertainment has gotten so good. Your TV at home is so good. Your sound system so good. Half the time you don't even have to rent the movie. You know, the majority of people out there don't really know the difference in how good how much better even a HD a 4K Blu-ray is versus, just streaming it. And it's a huge difference, by the way, and that's why I'm trying to get all of the movies that I love in physical format. So yeah.
Good for you. All right, sir.
All right.
Done the thing.
It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. We will see you guys next time. Later.